Excuse me. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible greetings. All right. We have to make sure that this feed is showing at least to all friends. And okay. So let's see. Okay, perfect. That is set up correctly. So we're going to go ahead and share this out. I'm going to plug my phone up because it's going to die and I'm not going to be able to see your comments. So let's plug you up. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, there it is. All right. There we go. And then let's go over here. All right. So I'll share it out. Okay. Okay, this is not working. Let me move my phone to the port that's at the top of my desk because that one down there is not charging. Ooh, this one isn't either. What the heck is going on here? Okay. All right. Hopefully that charges because I'm not going to be able to see the comments from my Facebook page without my phone. So hopefully this maintains itself and it behaves. And then, all right, there we go. So, hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible greetings. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the best summation paper, ink. We have the best classes on everything from designing into a studio, Canva, Photoshop, then how to make certain things like foam board, memorials, party favors, we have the switch up, we have things for business, pricing for profit, creative business program, all sorts of things over in our academy, 365creativeacademy.com. I decided to come live in the evening because it's, you guys aren't at work. So we'll see how this goes. I'm open to answering any questions and providing any advice or feedback that you guys may need. Earlier today, I was live and I was kind of just going through my feed. Well, just pictures, I'll say my feed. Yeah, but my picture feed on Facebook. And I think this one goes to like 2019 is when I created this particular Facebook account. I had another one that's been up for many, many years, but Facebook Meta snatched that one away out of the blue. But just kind of going through this, and there's a lot of content here and a lot of things here that I've created over the years. I've screenshotted some things that were like from years ago, and I've put that on here. So we were just kind of going through my feed. If there was anything that stood out to you, something that you had a desire to learn how to do, maybe it will spark some things like, oh yeah, I wanted to learn how to do that, and you guys would have questions on it. And I just wanted to be able to show whether or not being creative and creating things, if it can be profitable. For me, it has been. When I got into this, like me being an event planner, a lot of the things that I was creating was more so for that. So my tagline was DIY by a professional. And I was creating a lot of things for events and parties. And that just led to some other opportunities as well. But within that space and pretty much locally, I didn't have to do a whole lot of advertising and shipping outside of really Florida. Miami has been really, really good to me. I had a couple clients that were in Orlando, in Jacksonville. So just Florida has always been really good to me. Me kind of going outside of Florida for things came when I started teaching classes because I can reach people all over with that versus like shipping it out, which is why I'm always, always, always stressing there is money at your feet. There's money in your backyard, down the street. There are so many people who are around you who don't know what you do because you're not being loud about it. You're not showing up enough for them to know what it is that you do. Before I was like full on teaching, I remember our neighbors across the street, they had like an event and they had someone that came in and did like balloons. And, my son was of course invited. They had like he came back home with like little party favors. And I'm like, well, damn, I could have did this, but then I had to remember. Well, I had to think about it. I never talked to them or told them what it is I do. I remember after the fact, they asked us because, with them always picking up stuff and, deliveries and stuff coming, they eventually asked like what we did and we kind of told them. But when they had that party, they did not know what we did because we just never shared. Like we just don't think of that like with our neighbors. So there's people all around you in the neighborhoods you live in, even if you live in an apartment complex, a condo, townhouses, there's people around you that don't know what you do because you're not showing up in person. And I've shown up like in person. I have gone to different businesses. I've introduced myself. I have offered up free services. And they saw what I did for free. And then they end up, booking us to and hiring us to do out different jobs and things like that. But it took a while for me to show up and really think about my neighbors, and them knowing what it is that I do. And that was kind of one of those wake-up calls. When I was at my mom's house, all my neighbors around there knew what I did. But when we moved here, I didn't really take the time to do that. So it's like a matter of like walking the street, helps get exercise in, wearing the shirts, wearing actual advertising shirts that advertise what we do, not just a custom shirt that I made, because everyone doesn't think that, oh, wow, that has to be custom made. So like truly being a walking billboard, saying that, hey, this is what we do, is how we were able to make connections even within our own neighborhoods. Just make sure that you are getting out there. But I say all that to say, if done correctly, if you have the proper strategies, there is money to be made. There is profit in creating. There's profit in crafting. That's the word that you guys like to use. You just have to have the right strategy. You have to have the right hustle. You have to have the right mindset in order to make the money. So we're just going to go, like I said, through my feed and look at some of the things I've created over the years. And maybe it'll spark something you guys, like different questions that you may have for me, and things that you want to learn. Because that's where I'm at. Right now, my main focus is more so on the teaching side versus producing the items, but we still do. We get inquiries all the time. I just actually got an inquiry about making some foam board cutout signs. We had this order for some custom passports, which are done. I actually need to let her know that these are ready for pickup because they are officially done. So I still make money doing the customized things, but I like to teach it and passing this knowledge that I've gathered for 2 decades, almost 3 decades of knowledge, and just kind of sharing and teaching it. That's the part that I love. I love the creating part too. But I put in the years. Think I've earned it to where I can kind of, not worry about always creating, and I can teach. All right. So hello, Phyllis, Kim, Mrs. D. Burkett. Hello, Terrence. How art thou? Chef Kobe. Hello. Sparky, how are you? Thank you for tapping in. Selena, Shayla, hello. Welcome. Thank you guys for giving I see it going. So thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts over on Facebook. If you have not given this video a thumbs up yet, please do so. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. If you're watching over on Facebook and you're not following us, make sure that you hit follow and then click on the 3 dots and change your default to priority or see first or whatever it says on there, like the first one, so that we're coming up more often for you. Okay. Oh, this is actually a really good question. Do I have a goal of making so many items per week? So yeah, yes and no. Like when I was actively doing it, I definitely did. So in it being a goal, it was also a cap. That is something that is also really important for those in this space because you are hand making these items, and a lot of times by yourself. Yes, we may have machines and printers. It's knowing how fast can your printer actually print out, how fast can you produce certain things, how much disposable time do you have throughout the day, throughout the week. So in having a goal, it was also a cap to not overextend myself, and making sure that I can actually handle it. So to answer that question, yes, there was a goal, but it was more so like a cap. And I would have, loved to make sure that, like I max out my cap. So that would be the goal, is to max out the cap. But that's where I started with putting a cap on the orders that I would take, um, to make sure that I wasn't gonna burn myself out. Because I have done that. Even with like the cap, sometimes, machines and stuff go haywire. So I've learned to scale that back some and leave more room for contingency. Because before, I used to try and max out that cap and then things would go haywire. And now here I am staying up all night long. I'm staying up for 48 hours straight. When I was doing events, that was kind of a norm for me anyway. On the heel of an event, like I'm literally up from like probably the day before. Like whenever I wake up that day, I'm going through like that whole day. I'll go through like the event. I'm still up, and I probably wouldn't go to sleep until like super late that night after, bringing things back in. So I would stay up for almost like 2 days straight. That took a toll on my body. That's why I said it's important to not necessarily just set a goal, but set a cap so that you don't overextend yourself. Great question. All right, so let's. Oh, here's another great question. So, do you make things for yourself to show what you do? Of course. Well, okay. I'm not going to say for myself all the time. I will make random things. I have so many things here that are just random. I would, not necessarily for me. And I just literally just got on my husband about that because I would make certain things and they're in my drawer. And I'm like, dude, you trying to be funny? I have not worn a size small since I was probably in middle school. Okay. Like, why is this? No, probably high school. Definitely high school. But why is this? Why would you put this here? I understand it has a design on it. Everything that I make isn't necessarily for me. I just make it just to like make it for demo purposes or just to kind of like show certain things. Also to practice making certain things just to make sure. Like I don't believe in selling anything, like truly selling it and putting a price on it if I have not done it first. Like that is a non-negotiable for me. And if I'm willing to just try it, like let's say somebody requested, I've never done it, but I'm willing to try it. That initial pricing, like I would charge them, is never what this would actually be if it was something on my website or if it's an actual service that I offered, because it's like it's the first time. So at the very least, I'm not going to be in the red. You're going to cover supplies, but my time is like on the job training for me. But I create stuff all the time just to create it, to make sure that I can actually do it. And then it gives you pictures that you can always like give you items you can always take pictures of. Some, like, I don't know, for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but it's so many times where I am finishing something right at the deadline and I don't get pictures. I don't get really great pictures of it. So when I'm creating other things that are similar, it may not have been like that exact same design, but if I have tumblers and now I can arrange that tumbler, I can get different angles and different shots, different lighting. If when I was doing like events and parties and stuff, I would make an extra chip bag and I'll keep one for myself. That way I can take pictures. I'll keep one water bottle, or I'll just go in there and I'll make some water bottles so that I can take pictures of them. So making things for you, whether you wear them personally or you're making them for you, as in you, the business, so that you can take pictures and do all of like the promo stuff. She says those 24 plus hour days when you have issues is a mess, honey. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If it's just straight work, it's not as bad. But when it's happening because of mess ups, it's the worst. It is the absolute worst when it's due to mess ups. I should not be talking with this gum in my mouth. I would make extra items to have on hand for displays too. Yep. That is a big practice for me, is just making things so that I can control how I do like the marketing. So I'm going to show some things that I created for big practice for. Hold on. Oh, that's why it looks like that in here. This light, I'm like, why does the color look weird? This light up here isn't on. Okay. Okay. So we were binge watching our shows. This weekend was, I think we finished Equalizer last week, but I think this weekend we finished watching SWAT. So I am one where my mind is always on go. It's very hard for me to not have my brain focus on at least two things at a time. If it's just one thing, I feel like I'm going crazy. It's really hard for me to focus on one thing. So even when I'm watching like TV, sometimes even like movies, like I just have to end up going to do something sometimes. So as we're watching the show, like I have to be able to do something. So I was playing around in Canva this weekend because it's also like, it gives me examples for my Canva for Business. I have been on this series for a little minute with my creative business students. We actually kind of went over some things last class, our last live session last week, Wednesday. Was it Wednesday, Thursday? Wednesday? One of those. Yeah, because this week's supposed to be. So yeah, last week, Wednesday. Oh, hold on. I got popcorn in my throat. And we were going through Canva and I was showing them some ways to take like pictures that maybe weren't so great in their eyes and how to make them look like $1 million where they would make money. Like it would be pictures that convert. So I'm prepping for our Canva for Business class that will be open to anyone to sign up for that one. So in doing that, I wanted real pictures. A lot of people are teaching classes and they are using AI images. And I have an issue with that a little bit because AI images are kind of sort of perfect. Yeah, sometimes you might have like a little extra hand or two. You can easily kind of edit that out. But it's different when you have like actual pictures and adjusting the lighting. So when I say perfect, the lighting on AI images are a little too perfect. So I wanted real pictures that people took from their phone. The lighting was off in the pictures, and teaching how to make adjustments to those pictures to make them look cohesive and like they look like they were taken with the same camera, same lighting, as well as just elevating the look of them where it's not just a raw picture from your phone that you just posted online or posted to a website. So I was like working on that. So I was kind of going through looking just kind of I'm going through my feed, things that kind of stood out to me. And this was one of them. So these are all of the original like images and how they came. So you can see the variation in lighting. So these were all one post. And then once I did this one, I end up doing these, and then actually let an order, because after I did them, just randomly doing them for her, I posted it to her, gave it so she can use them how she wants. She ended up asking me to make her a flyer for 4th of July. So I was able to turn, like, I wanted to do this anyway. Instead of just using my own pictures, I used someone else's, and then now they see, because I did it for free, no cost, and then it led to a paid opportunity. So these were the original images. And I originally created this one, and this is through Canva. Canva has a multitude of templates already there, and you're just going to change the color. So just making them match her brand, like, sampling the colors from her logo, putting that at the top, and then using those Polaroids and zooming in to where now you don't see the, where you're seeing like so much of the box and things like that. And then the color is off on this one. I was able to adjust. Now this one ended up being a little bit off. I did go back and eventually fix it. I just didn't post on here, but I adjusted the lighting. And then with the cake pops, me pulling those out and just, just kind of doing like this whole like little setup, whatever. So this was this. And then the other pictures were like these, taking just the raw image. And okay, so I didn't post that one again. Okay, I reposted this one. Why didn't I post this? Because I did fix the color on this. But just being able to zoom in, and all this really is just a blur at the bottom and then adding the words and like her logo. And so now it's branded, and it just elevates that picture just a little bit more, cutting out, where the cake pops look all over the place. Now it looks very strategic. It's about framing. How do you frame this picture within your design page, and like adding stuff to it? If you have to rotate it to where you're showing the best part of it. So I did that one, we did that one, we did that one, and then there's the flyer. And then I saw that she had some banana pudding shooters. So I did this one, and then this flyer. Like they just it was just like an app, where you're able to put it on social media and advertise, and it's not just the pictures. And then from the pictures that she gave me, this was the 4th of July flyer that I created for her in Canva. I got to get back on Equalizer. It was a series finale. So we did finishing out the series. Everything is like series finale. So we watched all of Equalizer. We finished watching SWAT to the series finale. Now we're on SEAL Team and watching that one until, that one finishes. But yeah, anyway, so she submitted those, and we made this. And then this one, don't mind, because I made a mistake and did it as upload the JPEG. I thought I was uploading the video, and I wasn't. So we're going to move past that. So there's like some candy apples. There is like the cake, and it has a call to action on it. That's her cake pop, her pretzel rods. And then where did I guess I didn't upload the video one. But there was a video for this. And then this was another young lady. I saw hers, and I thought I don't have the pictures of the original images, but it's the same, like it was the same exact setup. I just made this because she didn't have a logo that I saw. So I just made this up in Canva and then just put her at, and I just took the pictures, and it's that same white border, and just changed the color. I think also the font for her, like made it, because it's like softer. So I just changed the font, and I created these. Now this one, again, this one doesn't have the edited picture. These were the raw ones. I've just first put it in there, even without editing the picture. And then, so yeah, these are some things that you can do in Canva. If you feel like your pictures are not the greatest, you can do some things to really ramp up those pictures. So I'm going to, just in case you haven't seen some of this stuff lately, hold on. I see a few comments here. I'm on season 2 or 3. I love these flyers and ideas. I'm thinking of reopening slowly. So this is helpful. Definitely need to learn Canva. Join my Canva, Understanding Canva 101. And then we'll have our Canva for Business and then just our actual designing class for Canva. Let's see. When your business is slow, do you think it's wise to start your brand? Okay, wait, I don't understand that. When your business is slow, do you think it's wise to start your brand? I'm not sure. Do you think it's wise? Reword that for me, Terrence. Reword that for me because I'm a little lost on that one. Would you rather take an image from Creative Fabrica, etc., and combine it with another to create a different image? For what though? So I need a little bit more clarity on that. I'm not sure. You say create another image, like a full-on design concept? Because I mean, I mix and match elements all the time. That's what you do when you're designing. You're gonna mix and match elements. So give me a little bit more clarity on that. If you have like an example of something, because there's a little bit of a disconnect for me, and like as far as like what you're actually asking. This was, of course, this one nobody paid me for it because my teacher's never gonna pay me. But it's just me showing just the small and the large ones. And these were done in Silhouette Studio, so being able to make fans. But I did make money from fans this year. But this one was from my own kid. Look at him so handsome. So handsome. I made this shirt. This was actually really, really cool design to make because her whole thing was she wanted to return to sender. So I put all of her kids in an envelope. I actually love this concept. And so this is kind of one of those, so that a full design. So yeah, so like with this one, this is a combination of elements from Canva, elements from Creative Fabrica. The text is from, like I did this in Silhouette Studio. Actually, the whole design was put together in Silhouette Studio. But yes, I mean, I'm going to combine stuff all the time. Then these were the ones I made for Zion Imani. So, of course, didn't get paid for those either. Didn't get paid for all my balloon work either. Little raggedy children. No, I love my kids. That client there, I'm saying back-to-back orders. This one was pretty cool. This was really cool too, and using Canva for Business is going to be about utilizing it for things like this. Being able to creatively showcase your work instead of it just being just a plain old picture. So this is, I've done every graduation for this family, and now they still have what, 2 more? I have 2 more to go. Couple years for them, but I was showing so I did her first son in 2019, 2021, then I did 2025. Shirts, fans, stoles, all of that for this family. So you can, when you do great work, you create lifetime clients who are like, anybody else touching my stuff? So there is money to be made when you have the right strategy. So here is another order, and this is foam board and Coroplast. You can see it on there. This advertisement. Hello, Canva. And so you said that's where I think that's where I get stuck because I'm overthinking. So what do you mean as far as like you're overthinking what? Like thinking that you're not supposed to mix and match them? This is a combination of a bunch of different things. So his mom actually there was somebody who was on Etsy and they advertised like making customized Sonic logos like with your kid's name. So I ended up getting that from her. I didn't make the Bernard part. I had a different one. I had it where it was colorful, which she liked, but then it was like all the Sonic stuff. So I ended up separating that. The junior part was from my original design. The rings came from Google in just a matter of like removing the background and stuff. Of course, the Supersonic came from Google. The crayons from Creative Fabrica. The chalkboard border, like that whole thing, came from P&G Tree. And then for the foam board, of course, everything else came from. And then this gold ring, I'm not sure if that one was from Google or that one's from P&G Tree, but this is a mixture of different elements. And then, of course, just my text from Silhouette. So you definitely can mix and match. Here, and another repeat one. This came, and actually this right here was also for that same client. So she ordered like back to back from me. But this was a cake topper that I made. So she sent this one as the inspiration. This was the design that I created. And this is a combination of things from different places. And this was the final one. So definitely you should be mixing and matching things. So as you can see, these are actual fan orders. So there is money to be made in that. Another one of my Canva creations. To go to your point, T, as far as do I make things for myself just to show? I knew that at some point I wanted to teach Canva. And although most of my people, like they'll come, they want to learn Canva for business. I don't know too many people that want to just make kind of like scrapbook pages, or I call them digital scrapbook pages. So when we went to Monster Jam, I just used all of those images from Monster Jam and all the different tools in Canva to make this kind of like scrapbook collage type setup where it just really summarizes his time at Monster Jam. You can't tell, I love a good Polaroid. It's just a way to kind of add certain things to it. And yeah, so I love a good Polaroid in a design. And this was a technique that I saw like in a video. I was like, hey, let me try it out. So I'm always going to try things out. Let's say it's technically still for me, but it's like, about my kids. But I'm always trying things out, even if it's not for an order. I preach that all the time. Like that is one of my biggest philosophies in this whole thing is doing something that's not for an order. That is the best way to get practice reps in. Here is another one. So I made, this is actually a magnet. My dry erase board is magnetized. So this is me just showing it on there. So this was a magnet. I hand cut this magnet. I designed this in Silhouette Studio. And then once I designed it in Silhouette Studio and kind of had the baseline for it, I did take it over into Photoshop to just emboss the top part of this, but everything else was set up and arranged in Silhouette Studio. I just, took it to Photoshop to add the embossing to the top layer, but all the other things, parts of it, like that back part, all of that gradient, all that stuff, Silhouette Studio. And we also did the shirts. So this here is actually all Silhouette Studio. This is not, there was no embossing on this one. I actually forgot. And I did it after the fact. So when this is DTG shirts. This one and this, oh wait, no. So those their shirts. They were DTG shirts. Oh, here it is. And this actually was all done in Silhouette Studio. All of it. So there's that order. You can see there's a lot of them that have shirts. So that was a pretty big order. There is money to be made in learning to create and having the right strategies to promote and showcase your items. And these are all local people. I made that same family. This was like for her son, even for just stickers, where I created and designed the stickers and she just put them on little baggies for his class for Valentine's. So even simple stuff like that. Is it this huge order? Is it a high, high value like order? No, but when you have customers that come to you for almost like everything, those things add up. So it's more so about volume with certain customers and how often they come back. Even if like some of them are smaller orders, we can't always chase after the big orders. The profit comes even in the small orders and just having a lot of those smaller orders. Thank you, Sparky. I mean, even back, these are old, but I kind of post them around Valentine's Day. This was big money makers for me in making these like cute little mini Valentine's Day baskets, you know, one a couple pieces of candy. The star of the show more so was the bear with their name on it in vinyl. Really, really easy to do. When I was doing it this way, I was able to do multiple bears at one time, just putting them around my heat press and using scrap vinyl. And there was money to like good money to be made in doing these. So quite a few of those that year. Now I've always been pretty good at taking pictures. So these are just raw pictures from my phone using the different settings to blur out the background. I understand lighting and things of that nature. So these are raw pictures. These actually have not been touched up at all. That one is MJ's. Here are some memorial designs for slates that a client purchased. That one and that one, because they gifted them to people for on like because it was around that time. So these were in January. They gifted these to them. Because you see, it was like on the same day. What, a year apart? Yeah. So making those designs. And how I got that one was when I made this from randomly. This was from a design that I did a live video just showing pressing to slate. And when they saw that, oh, could you make this? So the more stuff that you put out there, even if it's not the greatest, people see your potential and what you can do, and they will contact you. Here is that same client. They went on a cruise, and there were all these items. So eye mask, rags, what's those things called? Magnets, bookmarks for the kids, sticker sheets. Oh wait, I thought I had the sticker sheets on here. But all those things, you know. Let's see. This was me showing me doing this in Silhouette Studio and how I created the gradient. So y'all, Silhouette Studio is a powerful program. Very, very powerful program that you can create your own custom gradients, just crop it to it. To me, doing the gradients is way easier in Silhouette Studio than it is in Canva. Fully designed in Silhouette Studio. This was a fan design. These are repost, and this is, you know, I was using this to show my students about reposting things. Like this is these are years old. Like when they won the championship, and you're gonna, if I go through my feed, you'll end up seeing these again. And it's about reposting. You don't have to and I'm actually about to now take it into Canva, kind of up the design level on it, and just kind of use that to identify like what it is and things of that nature with my logo and stuff like that. But I teach my students to repost things. You don't always have to create new content so that I can control how I do. Like, hold on. You have content already. You have things that you can post. When, you know, T acts, when things are slow, what is it that you do? Post things that you've already taken pictures of. Go through your camera roll, the stuff that you never posted. Take some of these tips and taking it into Canva, adjusting your lighting, adding some things to it, and post that. I promise you, you have content to post. You're overthinking the way that you are posting content. So these were some shirts that I made. And this is, you can see the year on it. 2019 is when I made these escapade. This one, she had her residency, and there were some people that were going, and I ended up making them different shirts. And so this was the mock-up, and here are the sweatsuits. And from me making these, one of the parents had me make some for all her and all of her girls. So it was different hoodies. And then here are the actual hoodies. And this is all vinyl. Metallic vinyl and glitter vinyl. Fans. This was for a school in Georgia, and they were giving out like little baskets or bags, gift bags to those who were directly affected by breast cancer, whether through a family member or themselves. So it was rags and bookmarks for them. So this was for a school in Georgia. And we actually did two different types of. So this is actually, I'm always talking about like raggedy pictures. This wasn't necessarily to like average. Like I was just using this to show like my students, but I got all this stuff in the background. So I'm actually going to take this picture and I'm going to improve it. This is a prime example of having raggedy, ugly pictures and how can we elevate them. So this will probably be the next thing that I show in one of my classes. Another order of like a major order of bookmarks. Foam board cutouts. These are small ones. So we have this is more so for our class, showcasing it for our class. This was party favors. And so this is when I was advertising for the class, but just kind of showing this setup. And the fact that everything doesn't have to be so matchy. More foam board cutouts, which I could improve those as well with the lighting and stuff. Here are styrofoam cutouts. So there's money to be made in that area. These are foam board cutouts for centerpieces for a Crayola theme party. And there were the mixed crayons and then the individual ones. Someone had a safari baby shower. These are foam board cutouts. And there is a certain way that you can do these and this is a stand that's made from foam board. It's kind of like the acrylic ones, but not quite. It's all foam board. This was an order. There were pajamas, gable boxes, little photo cubes, cupcake toppers. And this is one of the reasons why I think I like foam board more so than Coroplast, because I can color the edges and that's a way for me to kind of cover up that whole white thing. And it just, to me, I feel like it also elevates the design by having the edges match, the colors of like the main colors, especially something like this where there is a lot of color blocking. So I like foam board more so than Coroplast for things like this. Gable boxes. And I don't know what the heck this was. What was this for? I don't know. There's a post. Oh, this is actually, oh, I know what this is. This was me showing you don't have to have a fancy setup. This picture, for me showing this, like with it upright, I had a piece of paper taped to my wall, and then I rolled up masking tape and I just pressed it up against it. That is how I took this picture. It's all taped. So it was meant to show that you don't have to have a fancy setup. I've done stuff for churches, and again, small orders lead to bigger orders, or sometimes you'll do bigger orders for them and then they will come back for smaller things. So I don't, I'm not always looking for super huge orders. I like customers and clients that are very consistent and constantly ordering from us. It always brings in business. But we did this for a church, and it was just vinyl, adhesive vinyl on foam board. Y'all know I love a good foam board cutout. Um, so these pictures were to show, like, I actually just realized I never posted the edited pictures. When I did these, I had to go when I finished them, I'm like, crap, I didn't take pictures. They were coming to pick them up. I had to take my car to be serviced. I literally took these pictures inside the dealership. The upside of it, though, is when people saw me taking the pictures, they were asking questions, and it led to a couple of inquiries and one order from people seeing me. Like, I'm not ashamed to be doing work in public, being a walking billboard. So I took my pictures in the Dodge dealership, and it led to me, giving a few people our information, a couple inquiries, and one order from me just taking these pictures inside of the Dodge dealership when my car was being serviced. For me, look, and this was about, I made a whole photo studio in those people's service area, their waiting area. So I literally brought my paper with my white paper. I propped it up in a chair. See, that's where I took these pictures at. Work don't stop. It doesn't stop because I had to get my car serviced. The show must go on. Are you that dedicated to your work, to your business? Or would you have taken that as an excuse, like, okay, well, I have to do this, so I cannot work. Oh my gosh. No, I'm taking work with me. That is the joy of working for myself. In the business that I have, I'm able to take work wherever I go. Okay. I'm going to turn everywhere into my office. Oh, well, it's okay. So I hope she is fine. Oh man, I'm gonna message her afterwards. Hopefully I'm, keeping her in my prayers. Oh wow. Thank you for that though. And wow. And so these are the pictures from on that chair. Um this was a part of that order, and then there was also, we redid their door sign. When Tyreek got arrested. Even requests like this, where people end up sending requests for things like this, just from you constantly putting out work. It's like, hey, can you do so the more you put yourself out there, even when those pictures are not that great, people are able to see your versatility, and this is where the money comes in at. I was showing earlier, this was one of my favorite sublimation projects to date, where I made this custom ribbon, and it's like double-sided to look like newspaper. And the treat maker, oh my God, it looks so amazing with her treats. So amazing. All over shirt that I did, where I had to piece it together. Stoles, custom vest. I've made senior crowns. That was my mom's, and she did that testing out our like paper and stuff. I made some towels for a young lady who was running for Miss Senior, and she won. To date, anyone that I have made any campaign stuff for has always won. I am batting, what is it, 100, batting 1,000. Anyone that I have made any type of campaign stuff, SGA, class pres, like class offices, queens, homecoming, anybody that I have a perfect record. Everybody I've made stuff for, they have won. Perfect record. So here's a picture. Like, you guys have never seen this side of me because this was well before I was doing like social media content. But I used to make custom piñatas out of cardboard. And where my husband worked at, we had a plethora of cardboard. So I made plenty of money, a lot of money off of piñatas made out of recycled cardboard. So that was one of the things that I used to do back in the day. Don't do them really as much anymore. But yeah, piñatas. And used to make many. You can see it somewhat on the corner. I used to make these mini piñatas. This was when I was really, as you guys would say, crafting. I was really doing some DIY stuff. That is napkins. It's probably somewhere in there. But those particular mini piñatas is cardstock and napkins from like Party City, like themed napkins and stuff. So now they can't ding me on, like, I used to do that with like Elmo and Mickey Mouse. Like, I'm remaking this with their officially like branded stuff. I'm just using them in a different way. So I used to go and get like stickers or plates and napkins and things that were already branded, and I'm just repurposing them. So this made it to where I can advertise them as, let's say, like a mini, Mickey Mouse themed piñata, because I did not print out anything myself. This was like their official stuff, and I just repurposed it. That's also a strategy that I teach in my creative business. I give my students so many plays that's going to help them, especially like in posting and kind of like loopholes for certain things. If you're not in creative business, you need to get into the next round that will start in August, but you can always sign up now, but the next round of it will start in August. But hey, you can take advantage, like join now and join us for the last month of this round of creative business. This was another all over shirt that I did like on a live video just to show. For me, if you're like, you want to learn all over shirts from me, learning to design them is different than learning how to do it. If you say, I want to learn how to do all over shirts, when you book a session with me, I'm going to have a random design that's going to be printed out. You're going to end up piecing it together. You're going to press it, because that is learning the technique. Learning to design is something else. What stops so many crafters from really, really learning is feeling like you have to have the whole puzzle all at one time, instead of learning it piece by piece by piece and having it all come together. So learning how, like the technique and all how to do that is one thing, because if you go through this part and you're like, yeah, this isn't for me. If you spent countless time like trying to learn to design and doing this design, doing all this stuff to print it out and go and press it, and it comes out messed up, you are going to feel defeated. But if you're saying you want to learn it, this is what you do. Like, learn it. It doesn't have to be this specific design. You need to learn how to do the thing and just see what it takes to actually create it. So whenever I'm doing, if you ever book a class with me, if you're in our courses, whether it's in person or group classes, like virtually, you get a generic one. It's not about learning to design. It's about learning to actually properly tile, print, and press your oversized designs. All right, the questions have stopped, or comments. You guys can still chime in. I was showing this stuff as a way to kind of spark your questions, because I was told, because I'm always just kind of doing Q&As now, the reason why you guys don't say anything is because you don't have something to draw from. You don't have an inspiration that your questions come from, or your interest is piqued when you see like all this stuff like in groups. So I figure if I share with you guys some of the things I've done over the years, it will spark some interest for you. But you guys have kind of gone quiet on me. Another order of shirts, rags, and tumblers. A shirt that I made for myself. It was pretty interesting walking around with this shirt on election. Well, before election, because election day, me and my husband wore our imperfectly qualified shirts. Got a lot of compliments about that one. But this was the shirt that I was wearing. Like, this was my campaign shirt, saying, look, go vote. Don't feel like the right candidate was hired, but it's okay. Here are some selfie frames I have created over the years. This was good money. Good money in making selfie frames, making cap toppers for graduation, making banners for graduation, blankets. And you can see this is tiled and pressed. Parties. I created this design. So, of course, selling digital products. This was another digital one, and then she turned it into her design. Hey, this picture I was looking for earlier. The banner I showed you, like you'll see the one for MJ. This was the one from Ebzani Mani's. If you don't know, Epson printers can print up to 47 inches long. So whether it's not just about sublimation, I had been creating banners with my printer well before this craze of long prints. I have been printing banners for a really, really, really long time. Shirts. This year she had turned 10. And so when people ask, does Jet Pro last? This was 2024. She was turning 10. And this is the shirt from when she turned 6. And of course, I've washed it quite a few times in those years. So in 4 years. And this is what it looked like. It looks just as good as the day that I pressed it. We do obituaries. And then here were some labels that we created for bottles. So again, that's one of those things where it's not a huge order, but those quick orders, like, I mean, you're able to get them done faster, and it's quick, easy money. No, just regular paper. Photo. It's on a roll, but regular photo paper. It's just photo paper that's on a roll. Now we did have to cut it down. Photo paper doesn't, like, the rolls don't come in 8.5 inch wide or 13 inch wide. My husband had to cut it down for me. And then this, of course, again, not getting paid for stuff, but school projects. But me doing the school projects with the printer and like the whole setup, it makes the teachers take notice. And then when I'm coming to pick them up, they're asking me like about it. And I've gotten a lot of orders for other things from teachers just by utilizing my super, super creative skills in MJ's projects. And it has led to them coming back to me to ask me to, like, you know, can I do this? And it's led to like actual paid orders from just doing his homework. I have actually never really put out the template for this, never really did, but it was giving, honey. I mean, this looks like a straight up magazine cover, okay? I was in my bag on. I did my big one with this. It's like one and done for me. I just felt like this is the first time I did that too. I just felt like it was perfect, and I never tried to do it again. It was perfect the first time. She is literally the only person that I have ever made a magazine cover for. Because it's like nobody else's pictures compare. Like this is like her actual picture. The way they shot the picture, like the lighting on it was great. It was on this like brick wall. I didn't have to like remove the background, add stuff. It was just perfect. So one and done. Here are shirts that I've done. Again, Jet Pro 3G. I did some cheer bags, which the actual picture is somewhere. More banners. All designed in Silhouette Studio. I did. There was one of my clients wanted to gift the key to when they purchased their house, so I end up making this key, and it's glitter cardstock, and I submitted to it. Had a little mistake, but it was okay. And then some coasters, senior crowns. So all this to show like there is money to be made. This family, I made these shirts for them as well as these shirts for them. There is money to be made in learning how to do these things. Any questions for me? I mean, I got pictures for days. This is all Jet Pro 3G. All designed in Silhouette Studio. So I got examples for days. For days. That picture's horrible. But yeah, any questions you guys have for me? Anything that you are interested? Oh, this is what I was trying to show. This may have been the first. I think this was the first mug that I did in sublimation, not the FYFL. Either this one or the FY. One of them was the first mug that I ever did in sublimation. Oh, here you can see those mini piñatas and like kind of like gift bags a little bit better. She's like 20 something now, and that was from her 8th birthday. So inlays for chargers. And this wasn't in 2024. This I just reposted it because she's been married for how many years now? 4 years maybe. But yeah, so just some different things over the years. This series will be coming back out because we're getting ready for back to school. So you can actually purchase these right now, but there's a new class coming up. There's some more templates coming out, but these are actually on the website right now, all of these designs. So there are mouse pads, but there's also tumblers as well as, wait, where'd it go? Here we go. As well as notebook composition covers in those same designs. So be on the lookout for more of those as well. This one too will not with my name, but the set with the glitter pencil, and I have some glitter color pencils, like all that stuff will be out within the next like 2 weeks for back to school. These are already on the website. Yeah. So let's see. Any questions? Do you have any videos on how to do the sizing of templates for the banners? There is no. It's just 12 by 47. That's it. So there's really no video for that because you open up whatever design program you're going to do and you're going to make a box that's the size that you want it to be. In this case, they were all 12 by 47. Oops, no, sorry, 47 by 12. 47 by 12. And you proceed to design within there. So that's what you would do for that. So if you know how to use Silhouette Studio and you know how to, or any design, not say Silhouette Studio, if you know how to make a design page the size that you need in Canva, in Photoshop, in Affinity, that's all you're going to do. It's for that, it's just a rectangle. All right, last call. Any questions for me? Anything that sparked your interest that you are interested in learning how to do? Because I've been doing this for over a decade now. And I feel like I've done everything under the sun. So I don't know what it is that you guys want to learn because I feel like I've done it. And I know that there's new people, but with the new people, I don't know what you know, what you don't know, what you want to learn, what I need to spin the block with. Because, yeah, for me, I feel like I've done it all. So it's harder for me to kind of pick and choosing, like just like the thing, like, right now it's trending with these frames. I've been doing designs with people in frames for the longest. So I'm always relying on you guys to let me know what is it that you want to, because I've kind of done it all, but I don't mind spinning the block and doing either tutorials or classes to show you, to demonstrate to you guys how to do that. But you got to let me know what it is that you want to learn. Because I put a lot of effort into my classes. They're not just kind of show and tell. I do a lot of prep work. So I don't want to put that prep work in and it's something that people are not interested in. Hi, Jackie. Incredible greetings. Incredible evening. And when you get, like, I'm telling you, you guys get stuck on designs, this is where like my creative lounge, and when we have the pro calls and the kind of like professor fix my design type sessions, these are sessions where you're able to come in, and when you get stuck, lean on your support system and kind of share your ideas, show what you have. And then I'm always giving kind of feedback. Well, let's try, you can try this, you can do this, you can do that. And you're getting that help in real time. But that only happens in our creative lounge, because then you're getting to really talk to me without having to type it. You're able to unmute. We're able to have that quick dialogue, and you can get quicker help. You're able to share your screen and things of that nature. Without having to type it. All right, hold on. All right, no other questions. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity, be incredible. Visit shop.hsink365.com for our summation paper ink, and also to enroll in classes, or for certain classes, you can go straight to learn.365creativeacademy.com to enroll in those classes. Until next time, peace.